in a pipe, in a pour, in a 3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone to another episode of Genius Brain. Today we have a special guest. Well, before that, let me let you know that I am one of your hosts, Joe Jitsukawa, and right next to my right, for those that you are watching, it is David So. And to my left, which is your right if you're watching on video, is a good friend of mine that I've known for over 20 plus years now.
That's so fucking long.
I know, right? It's crazy. And if I were to introduce him to you back in the day, he was a raver.
Dog, I feel like that's every single one of your interactions is like, this successful mogul, we used to do drugs together.
Yes. Hey, man, networking is where it's at, right? So, in a donut shop worker.
Yep.
Which, fast forward to today, if I were to introduce you to who he is a serial entrepreneur, has a very successful video game distribution company called Inex. It's insane. It's amazing. It's like a $30 million a year business. It's fucking nuts. As well as many food concepts. And every time I talk to you, I feel like you're in a whole new damn business. Just recently, you told me you're a partner to a fucking VR shooting experience. I don't know, man. And I swear, every week, I feel like you're buying a whole new business. So it's hard to keep up with all the things you're into. But yeah, Joey Ngoy.
Hello.
Wait, you started off doing what? Donuts?
My family or me? So I was actually in high school, I think when Joe and I were.
Yep. And he had long, luscious bleach bangs.
That's when I actually had hair. I bleached my hair like every week.
And look what you see fucking did, dude.
Yeah, sunning like that, go out in the sun and
oh my god,
and be out there for like an hour, and then it's golden brown.
And he had these tall spikes.
Yeah.
Or like
that's when I first met you.
Yeah.
But at that time I was, was going to high school, barely showed up.
Yep.
Went raving 4 times a week.
God damn, dude.
And then working in the donut shop.
Yeah, I thought you were so cool because you had a BMW back then, and I was like, "You're rich." Oh my god, how were you in high school? And then and then we would just fucking drug out at Masterdome, Funhouse, whatever, and then there'll be the party. There'll be an after party at someone's house, and we would end up doing more stuff.
Drinking orange juice to kick it back up.
Yeah,
I'm surprised your guys' brain isn't putty or some shit, dude. You guys are fucking crazy, dude. At such a young age too, just going that fucking ham. A little too rough, huh?
Were we the same age?
I'm 82.
Oh shit! Yeah, okay. So you were like 16. I was 14. Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. That's why you had a car.
That's why people were like, damn, you raved that early?
Yeah.
I remember that time. That was like when Insomniac used to throw parties at La Casa in downtown.
Oh.
That was Matrix Wednesdays.
Matrix Wednesdays. Johnny Matrix, dude. That's so crazy.
We'd go party till like 8, go to school with our kicker pants.
Johnny Matrix was this Korean fob.
What the fuck is this?
He was this Korean fob, right? And his name was Johnny Matrix. And I don't know where he got his money.
Oh, dang.
I don't know. I just had no fucking clue. But he would throw these raves every Wednesday night. And it would just be a bunch of fucking high school kids drugged the fuck out all over the place.
And we were there every Wednesday. And then Thursday, we'd do the next thing. And Friday, we'd go to a massive.
Yeah.
And Saturday.
Yep. Masterdome, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was like the beginning of like EDC, Audiotistic, fucking hard. All those festivals now that are multi-fucking $million businesses, it was just a piece of shit. Like, it was like a fucking little, you get
Isn't that shit a
farmland
trip
and do
though
it.
when you see how big raving got? It was like such an underground thing. You know what I mean? Like it was like you knew somebody that knew somebody that did that shit, then you got in. You know what I mean? But now it's such a commercial thing now. It's so fucking big.
Yeah,
and girls literally
experience.
they plan out their outfits for months just to go to fucking EDC.
Dude. And I think
we had our outfits.
We did.
You talk about pacifiers and glow sticks. Shut the fuck up.
I got a shoebox of that right now. I even have an M&M plush doll that had beads around it. I'd wear it all the time, and I had my visor that I don't want to say it's on it, but I had my signature visor.
Was it Plur?
It's a drop E with Joe E.
Oh my god!
I'm proud of it too because I made it.
Fucking
And the mall kiosks, the little
Yeah.
mall kiosks that embroider.
Oh yeah.
And then I mean everyone's more naked now. Like back then, it's like it was just the hippie white girls that had pasties on.
Yeah.
But it was like most people just wore big fucking sweaters and overalls, and like we were. It was like let me be as comfortable as I can for my drugs. It was the you know what I mean. That was the whole thing. Everyone would plan out their drugs and shit instead of their outfits.
This is when you guys were in high school.
Yeah.
I was 14.
So how did you meet Joey then?
Mutual friends, and I
Yeah.
think all the Asians kind of knew each other back then.
There was like, I mean, you go to like when you go clubbing or whatever, there's always that like clique that always shows
Oh, okay,
up, the
yeah,
regulars. So there was
Yeah.
like a group, and
The
then
drug degenerate Asians that always were there.
that were on iloveraving.net,
Yeah.
Holy fucking
which I don't
shit,
know if that
dude.
website's still around, but
I'm pretty sure it's up, dude.
yeah, we were on those forums like chatting and AOL rooms and stuff.
Fucking forums, dude, and chat rooms, man.
Yeah, those AOL chat rooms, we used to be up on there. Hey,
know.
heart.
I can't believe being 14 years old and having like friends and taking me out and just being gone for days.
Yeah.
Being gone for days, dude. I never asked anybody like how your parents felt about it or whatever, because we were all like okay with like it would happen. We go to people's houses and then you see like there's no parents ever either. Like they're out gambling or whatever.
Yeah.
That's so fucking
Yeah. But I remember this one time we probably did like 3-4 different kinds of drugs, like acid, whatever,
Oh my
right?
God.
And then we were at this house, and I remember this vividly because you fucking traumatized me, Joey. Like we fucking this guy gave us some weed so we can just relax, right? But there was like Prozac in the weed, and we all, do you remember that?
Dang.
Okay, so
yeah.
so this guy, so everyone started like acting in patterns repeatedly over and over and over.
Yeah.
And then and I was on an acid trip too. I don't know if you dropped with me, but this guy had a hula hoop and he kept going whoosh like that. And then you know how when you throw the hula hoop and then you make it come back to you?
Oh, yeah.
So he kept doing this. And then there was a music video. Do you remember that music video? I see you, baby, shaking that ass. You know that song?
Yeah.
You were repeating that over and over and over and over.
Yeah, you have a good memory.
Yeah.
I remember the laced weed Prozac, but
And how fucked up it made us.
yeah,
Oh, well,
dang.
it was a traumatic experience. I thought I was trapped in this inception world, you know, like a dream world, right?
Yeah.
And then this thing was going over and over and over. And I was like, oh my God, I am fucking trapped in a loop right now and I can't get out.
Maybe that Prozac triggered our entrepreneur mindset that day.
I hope so. But they didn't fucking tell us,
Yeah.
right?
Don't
Yeah.
go lacing your weed with Prozac now.
That was some crazy shit.
And this is when you were 14?
Yeah, we were like, I was 14. And then I think at that point, we were like, we need to get the fuck out of here, right? So I don't know what happened to you, but
Yeah.
I was in the car with a few other guys. And then we were trying to get out of the neighborhood, but we couldn't get out. It was like 7 a.m. and we just kept looping around. And I was like, oh my God, I'm stuck in this fucking loop. And then we finally found a Ralph's parking lot. And then they were like, I can't drive anymore. I drove too much. And it was like 3 hours later because we kept driving in circles in this neighborhood. And then we fell asleep. And in afternoon, like this security guard knocked on our fucking glass and said, you guys got to get out of here. Yeah.
Damn, good memory.
Yeah,
remember the
that was
Prozac.
pretty crazy. Yeah, and then I didn't see you for like a while after that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
would you-
what
what-
ended up happening? Because one thing, you just disappeared out of nowhere, and then there was a rumor that you were like a eBay business mogul, which motivated
I'm a
me to make an
mogul, but-
eBay business. But yeah, what happened there?
So after high school, we stopped partying, and then
What made you stop? Because you just disappeared.
long story. I
Yeah.
don't know if we talked about this.
I don't remember.
I don't know if I want to talk about
Okay,
it.
okay,
Oh
okay.
man,
All right.
this is very deep. Actually, I've never
Okay.
talked about it. I don't know if I should be talking about it.
If you don't want to, it's cool. It's cool. I just
wanna
don't
fucking
yeah.
know so
Yeah,
bad.
it's
It was
okay.
gang related though, and I don't think we talked about this when we talked.
Oh no, I didn't know.
I had to hide out. Actually, no one knows about this. Not too many people, but I had to hide out for a whole summer. And after that summer, I think EDC and Autistic, like if you go like on Google Images, like our
Yeah.
last raving images online, like I remember checking like a few months ago, it's still up. But
Oh, really?
after those parties, like Autistic and like a New Year's Eve
Yeah.
event, and then I like things happened.
Yeah.
which we didn't talk about. Yeah, we didn't talk about. But then I had to hide out for a whole summer.
So that's what happened. Because I had no fucking clue. You just disappeared, man.
Because rave started getting super popular with a bunch of like
a lot of gangs,
thugs, and stuff like that. And it wasn't just about like raver beads and polarity.
Oh, no, it wasn't. Yeah.
This is before I was in the gang world. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I think that's one thing I've left out. But yeah, I had to hide out.
Damn.
Yeah, and then after that, I kind of cleaned up and then got out of all the raving drug scene, etc., and focusing on graphic design. I was doing graphic design like self-taught.
Damn.
Yeah, I remember I was like before everything started, I was doing like a free internship, and helping what's his name, Nelly's website.
Nelly the rapper? Nelly?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, super random. I remember there was a Santa Monica graphic design agency, and I went online one day to apply and like just looking for a job or like part-time or experience and trying to learn. And then these guys were like, yeah, we do websites for celebrities, for musicians and rappers. It's like, all right, whatever. And then and then I was like working on, I had no website experience. But I loved like just graphic design and art, and then I was just like practicing that. And then I was working on my portfolio. And then this was like, and then we graduated, and I was like, shit, all my friends are going to like universities, etc. And I ended up getting accepted to nowhere.
Yeah.
and then I was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to go to community college. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I ended up doing graphic design like at Santa Monica College, PCC, GCC. And then at that time, my family still had the donut shops. My family was in the donut business, and Joe knows that.
Yeah. That's why your name was literally Donut Joey. Yeah. That was his name.
Fucking tight.
Donut Joey.
So all anybody from SGV, if you know like Uncle Joe's, it was next to Gabrielino High School at the corner there on St. Gabriel. Now it's a baseball field. Mm-hmm. Gabrielino, you better be sorry about that. They kicked us out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Crazy story is like they had offered my dad, I mean, he should have taken it. Some guy came and offered my dad like X amount of money, like a lot for the space. Cause we get like 200-300 customers a day, a little mom and pop, and Joe remembered that place. Yeah. Cause we had like a tire shop next door and Gabrielino students coming all the time and people around the community. It's been there since like 80s,
Yeah.
But my dad never took that, and then before we knew it, the school's like, oh, we're going to expand out, and we had no option. And
they're just kicking you out with nothing.
They gave us like peanuts for that. And they just like forced us out, And then
well, they would have done that to the guy that offered your dad money.
yeah, exactly. Same thing. So that guy would have been really screwed. Yeah. But all that happened, and then like the whole story about a lot of people know about this is the Donut King, which is my uncle. He went from rags to riches, but his whole donut story is he gambled everything away. He had a bunch of donut shops.
Wait, is he like the original Cambodian Donut King?
He is the Donut King, and he has a book on Amazon called The Donut King.
Really?
Yeah, he's the inventor of the pink boxes for donuts.
What the fuck? Wait, so he's the reason why Cambodians own donut shops?
Yeah, what the fuck is with Cambodians owning donut shops, man? What the fuck is that?
It's stereotypical, but it's true. It's because the whole after the genocide around the 1978 or 79, forgot, all the Cambodian immigrants were sponsored by I think Ronald Reagan at that time. They came over to U.S. and there's no education, no English teaching like classes or anything. So when they came over here, like my Uncle Ted was one of the first ones to come to America, and then Ronald Reagan, George Bush, or some politics, he got involved in that, and he got investment money to buy land and then build donut shops, and he had like over 200 of them around SoCal.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it was smart because as an entrepreneur for him, he would do like a rev share and like a rental agreement. So any immigrant that would come by, he would sublease the space like to any immigrant and say, hey, this is your donut shop, but you pay me your profit share and you pay me a rent every month.
So it's kind of like
that's how he became like this crazy donut guy. At the same time, he also helped to like get immigrants jobs at like windshields, and he helped to build windshields as well.
What?
Yeah, it's all in his book, but it's he's got his own crazy story. And so basically, long story short, for him, he like became this multimillionaire in the 80s, which is like probably like 100 million.
Yeah.
And he's your
Like,
dad's brother or your mom's
He's
brother?
my dad's side. It's kind of like cousin, but still
Yeah.
blood related.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then same last name.
I see.
Yeah, it's hard to say because like my dad had 13 siblings, my mom had 12 sisters.
Oh, wow.
Oh shit! Okay,
Cambodians got down. So
Yeah. That's fucking
they're
crazy.
like, we
They
gotta
had
put
a
all our
lot of
siblings in the
sex.
donut shop, so let's keep pumping them out. Guys.
Dang.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so he built up, his donut empire, and he was a high roller in Vegas, and which was like pretty much the reason why he eventually lost everything. He like had this gambling problem.
Oh, why the fuck does every Asian person have a gambling problem?
I know
Yeah.
Asian people, but I mean, I have to say the Cambodia. I mean, every Asian like ethnicity, but like Cambodians like love to gamble. I mean,
Vietnamese and Cambodians.
Yeah,
funny
that's
how
the thing. And
Asians are
not
so
to hate on
frugal.
Cambodians because I'm Cambodia, but
No, that's not hating because Asians are frugal. They save everything,
Man.
but they step in a casino and all of a sudden
yeah,
just
it's like,
everything.
oh, this is paper.
Cambodia, dude. That's what
Cambodia. Yeah, that's a good name for a casino.
You know, before all the Chinese used to come down in the 80s, Vegas catered to Japanese. Like, because when all the companies like the economic boom in the 90s and whatever, they would cater specifically to Japanese high rollers. So it's like, and gambling's legal in Japan. So they were having a fucking blast.
Yeah, they have those pachinko machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened? What happened
so-
to? Yeah.
Yeah, and then so anyways, he was gambling, and then he basically gambled everything away in Vegas and underground like casinos and houses and stuff. And I think there's things he didn't get into, which I'm not even aware of 100%, but like publicly through his books, that he or anybody could read that he just gambled everything away, and he lost his houses, he lost all the donut shops, he lost everything, became homeless. He went
From rags, to riches to
literally
rags.
rags to riches to rags, and he was sleeping on a porch. It was Fox, a bunch of news outlets did stories on him. People, actually, like recently, like some other publications, they reach out to me because they can't reach out to him. He's in Cambodia right now. He owns like 30% of Cambodia right now. That's another story. So he owns so much land right now in Cambodia, which is a bit crazy.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So he went
From rags to riches to rags to riches to rags.
When he was homeless, and he ended up going back to Cambodia to get into politics.
Yeah.
He had some relationships, had friends, and then he ended up buying land and things like that.
Wow.
So so we got a lot of family in Cambodia, and Cambodia is like one of the craziest, fastest growing economies right now. Everyone's trying to go over there right now.
I had a friend who just went to Cambodia recently, and he says that there are certain parts that he thought he was in Silver Lake. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Really?
because our family, they were even. I think one of my uncles, he was importing the donut machines from here to make donuts over there, and people will buy donuts for $2-3 US.
Wow.
Which you
the-
think
That's
it's
double the price
It's like
here.
a third world, but you go there, everyone's like on their iPhone, on their face, on Facebook, like it's normal.
yeah,
You go there.
he was shocked. He was like, there was like very hoity-toity coffee shops. Like, just like,
Yeah.
He's like, yo, where the fuck am I right now? Because,
Yeah.
when you picture Cambodia, you picture all these beautiful temples. They're there.
Yeah, you're thinking about Angkor Wat.
Exactly.
I think
But-
a monkey's gonna steal my water bottle or some shit like that.
Yeah,
you know, like,
exactly.
yeah.
But I mean, 10 years ago, there's you got to go around with like maybe a bodyguard with a rifle. Maybe now you still do, but not to that extent. You can walk more freely with your iPhone out and like checking Instagram or whatever. But it's crazy. So he's out there, and he has another family out there, and he's always in the news, and so we got a lot of family out there in the
It's
media
crazy
doing
because like
things.
Cambodia and like Vietnam, they're going through this huge like industrial revolution right now.
Crazy because all the China people are just going over there.
Yeah.
Every like
They're
manufacturer.
facing their boom. That's kind of like the guys
Yeah.
out here that invested into Japan and Korea like right after the war. They're all rich now.
And a lot of
'Cause they got
Japanese
it for
people are in
cheap.
Cambodia now, right now too.
Yeah,
They have
'cause
sushi restaurants in Cambodia.
They're
like-
investing into
the
that
fuck?
boom,
Yeah.
man. They're gonna have a boom. Yeah. Well, so how does
Anyway,
that? How does your uncle tie into all of this?
Yeah, so basically before he had like gone through, he lost everything. He had kind of sold and gave my dad. My dad and him were very close.
Yeah.
And he gave my dad or sold. I don't know. I really don't know the exact story, which I don't know if anybody would ever know. But he gave him like maybe 5 donut shops in San Gabriel, and Uncle Joe's on San Gabriel, which Joe is one of them. We had 2 on San Gabriel Boulevard. The other one was Wonder Donuts, which is now Uncle Joe's now.
Yeah.
That's operating.
Yeah, the one that's down the street from the school,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
right, yeah. So my dad got into that. That was 1980. He got into that. That's like when my brother was born. I only have one brother, and then my brother and I, we were very involved in the donut shop since we were like 4 years old. So I was born in 82. We had those donut shops, and then my dad got involved and like day to day, never took a vacation. And he worked in the donut shop for like 18 years, no vacation, no days off.
But all five of them? How did he work at all five?
Well, we had also, and the way it works is like not even just us, even right now till this day, especially Cambodians who still have donut shops. Like, let's say if you have a cousin, a sister, or uncle, or aunt, whatever in Cambodia, they bring them here and sponsor them and then put them to work at the donut shops. Not like as a slave labor, but kind of as an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, because they don't know English, so they get sponsored and they have a job, visa, and then they can learn English, and then that's a good way for them to get in, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the crazy part is like all my relatives that came here not speaking English, they're like super fluent after they worked in the donut shop.
See, that's
which is a crazy English training program.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah. So my dad was, his siblings were involved in other donut shops, and he was actually always stationed, and he baked every night at Uncle Joe's. And my mom worked. Everybody in San Gabriel pretty much knows my mom. We go to the market, they know her because she was the lady that was there chatting for hours. And then, but yeah, they would put me there like 5 years old. I was like drinking my hot chocolate coffee, counting money in the morning. Like we'd have lines like at 5 a.m., Damn.
Because
that was a spot like San Gabriel Boulevard was like,
it was
crazy traffic. And then you have the kids after school. And then when I worked there, I did some interesting things and
a lot of community building.
Yeah, a lot of community building.
Yeah, back then it's like you could get your donut and weed from Joey.
That's tight.
Censor the last part.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. Like, especially like donuts now have changed so much. It's not just like the regular classic donut now. People are doing crazy shit to that stuff.
Yeah,
and like when because that's the thing about donut shops. Because by the time I would go to the donut shop, it was slow. But in the fucking morning, like 5 a.m. Hella busy, dude.
Yeah.
Because everybody's grabbing donuts, right?
Yeah. And it tastes different. I think the donut gets worse as the time goes, and you got to get the freshest one.
It's like very gimmicky now. And and not clowning on my relatives out there who are doing like all that crazy stuff with donuts. But yeah, back then, actually, when my dad, he had one creation, and I don't know if you ever ate this, Joe, but he would take, and I don't know if you could call it a donut, but he was famous for that. He'd take the tortilla, and then he'd put blueberry or apple, and then he'd wrap it up, and he'd deep fry it, and then he'd glaze it like a glazed donut.
What?
And then he was known for his apple and blueberry burritos.
What?
And this was in the 80s. Like this is like considered, unicorn food like today. But it's actually really good. And I don't think anyone does that. I mean, someone might take this idea. But.
Oh, they probably will.
I've seen people deep fry the tortilla with cinnamon.
Yeah, but it was cool.
They do it like that.
Yeah, but that was his like invention. People. But wow. Yeah. So my parents were in that for like 18 years, and then when I was doing my graphic design thing, this is how it kind of ties in is I was ready to go to art center and then submit my portfolio and things like that. And one thing that happened, somebody stole my zip disk, which I was pretty stupid. I had a couple of zip disks that I had a lot of my artwork on, because at that time it wasn't like MacBooks and stuff, whatever. And some of my good work was on there, so it's kind of discouraging. That was one thing which led me to eventually do entrepreneurial stuff. And then my dad had gone through the same thing as Ted, our Uncle Ted, and he gambled and went through all these crazy things. And 18 years of saving.
God damn it, man.
And my mom never took a vacation, which was really sad. And to me, I was like, oh, damn. So we went through some.
How did you guys find out?
Hard times. Man,
because he must have hit it.
This is another podcast session for sure. But I could tell you, and my dad, he watches Facebook now, so maybe this will be on Facebook. But this might be the first time I admit that I knew everything that he did, and I would follow him. He would go to like underground gambling houses. He had girlfriends and whatever. Fuck. We knew about that. I never called them out. Well,
why did you?
We would follow him, like tailgate him, and he.
You
would,
and your brother?
Yeah, and then these gambling houses were in San Gabriel. Oh, they're gonna go raid them.
Yeah,
no, I don't think they exist because I've passed by them in San Gabriel. Like next to Focus Plaza, there used to be one.
A bunch of white people living there. Shit.
Yeah, dude, it was great. There's like underground Cambodian like gambling things there with like girls and whatever. I don't even know. I never went in, but yeah, he was involved in that, and then like I think that's where he like gambled everything away. And I don't even know. Maybe he met somebody and who knows how far that got,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
anyone could speculate, but it got to the point where basically he gambled everything away except for our house. And so he even went into the savings box and boom,
So
depleted.
when were you
18
like,
years. And think about it, like I told you, you can calculate it, 300, 400, 500 people a day at even one donut shop, spending $2-3 just in the morning, 18 years. You could do the math.
Yeah.
It's millions.
That's millions.
Yeah,
He gambled
millions.
away millions.
Yeah, that they were supposed to retire. So my mom is so humble in the sense where like they came from nothing.
Yeah.
They built up all this stuff. We were able to get a house to live in, have food on the table, which I'm very appreciative, and we're thankful for that. And I mean, even though they lost all their savings, we still have a house and etc. And I was like, shit, like I'm about to go to art school. What do I do? And I like at that time actually I was also a professional video gamer. I was playing Street Fighter.
Oh shit.
Beta testing Counter-Strike for Valve. This was like 96, 90.
Damn.
Yeah, I was beta testing since like 98 with them. And then this is when Counter-Strike was like, you could do like bunny hopping.
Oh, yeah.
I remember those
yeah.
days.
Yeah, and then I was playing Cal and then, had a bunch of clans and I was trying to make money. I was starting to do that and I made money from that and giving that to my parents. When I found out, then we kicked our dad out of the house. My parents split up. And it was just a crazy time. People go through this, this is a life thing, right?
Yeah.
Life experience. And then I was like, shit, I got to really hustle, So I was doing the tournaments. And then I was like, dang,
It's crazy how you're doing video games. Like instead of going to get a regular job, you're like, I gotta play video games harder. During a time when video games did not pay well.
No, at that time, there's no esports. Like,
Yeah,
I think
there's no esports.
I was probably a professional esports player at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was probably like 100 people in that community.
I know. And this was 2000, like
This was like
4, 3, something like that.
This is like 2000, 2002, 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was playing games since 98, but 96. Well, ever since I was like 5 years old, Nintendo, but like Street Fighter competitively since 98, 99. Yeah. And then I had a bunch of college books and I was like, oh, and that time they had half.com, which I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
Half.com,
Yeah.
which was owned by eBay.
Yeah.
They had eBay and Amazon was like losing money at that time.
Is half.com still around?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah, you're like, damn. I sell some books on
yeah.
there.
I was like, okay, because I still got some old ass books, bro.
Yeah, but dang, I think if I had a lot of opportunities and revenue channels, I guess you can call them. But I went on half.com and I had like, you have your like general studies, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
At Santa Monica and there was even a local bookstore there in near SMC that like I would buy books online and I do like two-way trading in a way, right?
Yeah.
And I'd buy them and I'd sell them for like obviously as a profit. If I buy for 50, sell for 65, whatever. And I started doing that and online I was selling it. And then next thing I know, I was like, shit, what else do I find around the house to sell?
That's how I got into eBay too.
Yeah.
It's
We've
crazy.
talked about that. Like,
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, like at that time I had a girlfriend and her sister, for some reason had thousands of prenatal vitamins that weren't expired. And then she had like porcelain dolls and things like that. And I sold all those things. I just listed them on eBay. Wherever I could, I put them on. So my used books, like whatever's around the house, put those online. And then, I was like, shit, I'm starting to like make some money and give my parents, some money from that. And then at that same time, I was like, I still need to make some money. And then I ended up applying for my first and only corporate job, which I worked at Blockbuster Video.
Tight.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace,
Well
man.
deserved.
I know, right?
Damn, dude. This podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible has the world's largest selection of audio books and audio entertainment, including Audible Originals. Audible Originals are stories created exclusively for audio, including documentaries, exclusive audiobooks, and scripted shows that you cannot hear anywhere else. You can listen to this at the gym, while shopping, in the car, traveling, and basically anytime you can't read, you can listen with Audible. Currently, the book that I am on is The Game of Desire by Shannon Boodram. Shannon Boodram is an amazing woman, specifically when it comes to that game of dating and getting things that you want out of these relationships and these dating situations. Now, I'm not dating, but it's still a fascinating book, and it's something that I like to dibble dabble in. So shout out to Shannon and shout out to Audible for that wonderful, wonderful listen. So check it out, my friends. Okay. So with Audible, for my listeners, I'm going to give y'all something a little special, right? So you can start listening with a 30-day Audible trial. Choose one audiobook and 2 Audible originals absolutely free. Just visit audible.com/GB or text GB to 500 500. Once again, start listening. You can start listening. Start listening, all right, to a 30-day Audible trial. Choose one audiobook and 2 Audible originals absolutely free. Visit audible.com/GB or text GB to 500 500 and get to listening today.
Yeah. And then it was the Blockbuster on Lake Avenue in Pasadena. And I remember that, like, so I had my polo that I wore every day. And then I worked there only for 6 months. And I mean, it was a good experience. And basically, I worked there, became the #1 salesperson of the Pirates Caribbean DVD.
Okay.
Joe's heard this story many times, but David, I don't think you know the whole story.
I did not.
Yeah, so...
it's a good story, too.
Thank you. And so I became the #1 salesperson just as a cashier. You know, I don't know if you ever worked at any like corporate retail.
Yeah, Men's Warehouse, Macy's.
Do they make you go through like a 10-step checkout process if you work the POS? Or like
we had a, I don't know, 10-step, but we had a whole checkout thing before we.
Yeah, like, oh, hey, how you doing? Did you find everything okay?
Yep.
Like, yeah, so I had to do that, right? But I ended up always selling Pirates Caribbean DVD, and they said I was the #1 seller in SoCal.
What the fuck?
For selling so many.
Yeah.
You know, because almost every customer, I'd get them to subscribe or whatever you call that and buy it or sell like a subscription card, whatever they were selling at that time. And they would never get commission. And then at the same time, when I first started, I had to clean the bathroom for like 2 weeks. And I was like, I signed up for a cashier job.
Yeah.
Not a janitorial, you know?
Yeah.
And I told myself, I was like, okay, #1, if I had a salesperson or if I had people that worked hard, I would compensate them properly.
Yeah.
Which you should in a proper company. And then I wouldn't make someone who signed up for a cashier to go clean the bathroom. That's why they have janitors and custodians, right?
Yeah.
So that happened, and I kind of got like pissed at that, you know. And it's hard for me, and then people who know me, it's hard for me to get me angry about something.
I've never seen you angry for all the years that I've
So,
no matter even when you get scammed and fucked over, you don't get angry.
Ecstasy's in his blood. That's why.
Flare forever, everybody.
Even when he's telling me
Pirates Caribbean DVD, Flare.
he's telling me stories of how he got fucked over and he's smiling about it, and I'm like, what's going on, man? Like,
So I was like, all right, screw this. And then you know, at the time I was selling on eBay. So while I'm hustling, I was there. They would put me to work all the time, which was cool. I got hours, whatever, you know. And I wanted to work towards manager. And they started me putting on the floor. They put me on the floor to like rearrange stuff. And then at that time they were selling previously viewed DVDs, and those are like, let's say, Lord of the Ring, Twin Towers. Those they go for $25 at that time. That's what DVDs went for. And then they'd sell them for like $6.
Yeah.
So you know, I started to think I had a friend that made DVD cases, and I was selling at half. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I can sell DVDs. And then I'd buy all the stock they had. At that time they had, there was a few movies. Mainly it was the Lord of the Rings that I bought. And I bought like hundreds of them. Yeah. I'd package them. I bought a heat sealer on eBay. I'd repackage them brand new and boom, put them on half.com on Amazon for brand new. And I sold all of them at $25-$30.
wow.
That's amazing. And there was a big drought of Lord of the Rings at that time, which I could like, it was like that. It's similar to like if you're slanging E and when it was $5 now it's out, you sell for $40 a bill, you know? And I took that philosophy. So I give credit to, you know, at the times where people consider like, oh, raving drugs are bad, but those are all life experiences that I took with me, right?
Me too.
Right? So from the first stage of raving and all that, and then going into this business world, and then applying that to my e-commerce, and then the next thing I knew, like 6 months into my job, the regional manager, they're like, oh hey, they want to meet you tomorrow. I was like, all right, cool, probably get a promotion, you know, probably become manager. And then we went to the room, and she was like, what are all these transactions? I was like, oh, I just bought it for families and friends. And the next day I called the manager. I was like, hey, I'm out, and I didn't show up. And then, I was like, all right, shit, what do I do? I apply another job, applied to like Petco.
Why did you decide to quit? Did you feel weird about
it was awkward after that, because then people were like, dude, this guy's doing something crazy shady.
Some shady,
Yeah, but I mean, I bought them straight out, though. I wasn't like taking $6 DVDs. I was just like buying them, but I was, you know, I could do whatever I want with them, right?
That's true.
But it was the same title over and over, so.
Anyways,
but it was cool. And I learned, I was like, shit, what else can I sell? What else should I do? And I tried to apply to other like Jaws, Petco, and like everywhere.
Yeah.
I think like Osh, Home Depot. And I didn't get a job. Like whatever, screw this. So I started to like expand my online thing, and I was still playing Street Fighter or whatever. So I went online, bought a PS2 controller, and this is like that controller is like I think what launched my business career. And it was a $5 transparent blue PS2 controller.
I remember
it looks like a
those.
Sony controller. They call them in China 1-to-1 E by E, but 100% like the Sony no Sony logo. I was like, cool, it's like official. And I played, it's like, this is junk, So went back online, sold it for $20. I was like, let's put it at 20. Sold for 20.
You sold it for more?
Yeah, it was 5, sold for $20.
Whoa.
And then I remember the seller, his name was Cat from Mars. And then he was from Florida. There was a bunch of Asian guys, like I think from Hong Kong or China, and they lived in Florida and they were doing trading, whatever. And I don't know anything about wholesale or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I went to him and he had a bunch of packages, like 3 controllers and a multi-tap. You guys remember what multi-taps are? Where you plug 4 controllers. Yeah, that $20. So 3 controllers and that for $20, free shipping. I was like, damn, what a deal. So I bought that. And then it's like, damn, this is junk. Went back online, $20 each. I separated it, so basically $20 spend. And then I made 80, and I sold for $80. So it's like $60 profit. I was like, shit. Went back, whatever money I had from Blockbuster was like $500-$600, 700 something exactly, and then boom.
You would just
like,
resell the products that they were selling on eBay.
Yeah, and then I started doing a lot of research on eBay, like. So I realized every seller had like 4, 5, 6, 7 accounts, and I went to all the accounts, bought all his inventory, resold everything, and started competing with them. I was like, all right, cool. I'll open.
So you're competing by buying their own products and reselling it for a higher price?
Yeah.
How the fuck did you do that?
I don't know what I was doing, but it worked, So,
wow.
Yeah, which is crazy. So
because people could have got the same controller for a cheaper price.
Anybody could do that. But at that time, eBay, and I think, Joe, you've had experience at eBay, like at that time, 2004 to 2007, 8, it was I think that was eBay's prime time where
it was.
You get anything for lower cost, you can actually still make money from Alibaba or wherever.
Yep.
Now it's like you make pennies, right?
Yeah.
At that time,
oh man, I was making like 60-80% margins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back then I was like, damn, dude, what else can I sell?
Yeah.
Right? That's how like people like got into the crazy manufacturing business, not because of those eBay days. But
like E-Vike, the airsoft. Yeah, they remember I had a airsoft company back then too. And they remember my shit, and then I got taken out.
Are they still around?
No, they're around.
They're
huge
they do
now.
pocket bikes?
No, E-Vike, not e-bike.
Oh.
Yeah. They're an airsoft company, but yeah, they're old school eBay too.
Yeah.
A lot of these companies,
All the old school eBayers now have like crazy warehouses.
Yeah.
And it came from eBay. So, anyways, and so I started I opened up some other accounts, and then just like expanded my inventory. So whatever those guys carried, PS2 extension cables, dance pads, and then dance pads is where I really like expanded my company.
Dance Dance Revolution,
DDR, all the
I
DDR
remember that
fans.
shit, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we expanded everything, and then I was like, shit, I need to like lower my prices to get more increase my profit margin. So I was Googling different wholesalers in San Gabriel Valley or SoCal, LA. There's a bunch in Walnut and City Industry. Contacted them, set up accounts, and then started buying a bunch from them. And I stopped buying from the online sellers because I realized that I'm getting ripped off.
Yeah.
Even though I'm making so much money, then I realized I'm getting and then I'm buying stuff at 50% even less now from local sellers, and I'm like cleaning them out.
Yeah.
I have like 3-4 different accounts, different names because it was a good strategy, because when people were like, let's say you go to Amazon, you don't buy from Amazon, but you go to Target, right? It was that same concept. I was like, I had my Amazon, my Target, etc., but it's still going to the same bank account, same company
with different
on
just
the
different platforms.
Yeah.
See, that's genius. I never did that.
Yeah,
They still do that on Amazon with electronics. They
do. Yeah.
And they fucking get my ass every time.
Yeah, it's all different brands, but the same company.
It's so funny because there was a specific charger that I liked, like a portable charger that had a wall plug-in, but it had 6 different cords attached to it, and it just suddenly just disappeared, went out of stock. And then I saw another. I popped up again, but a different company name. I was like, oh, that's the same. Oh, whatever, I'll still buy it. You know what I mean? And I just bought it twice over, dude. It's smart.
Yeah. But that's how they get you, man.
Yeah.
So had a bunch of accounts, and then after the wholesalers, I was like, shit, I gotta continue to cut the cost. So I went to Alibaba one day, and then I just like Googled all the stuff that was selling like crazy, and our number one item actually ended up being DDR dance pads, like foam ones, thin ones, metal dance pads that were sold at Fry's Electronics. And so what happened was I found this guy. I did a lot of digging. He's still in the gaming business, but just some random guy that was on Alibaba, and he was like, "Oh, I make them, and here's the price." Like, damn, is that really the price? It was like $30, and I'd sell dance pads for $200. The metal ones.
Wow.
Yeah, and because we would buy pallets of them, and then what happened was we ended up just sending this guy all this money, and then from the first year I went from that 4, 5, 6, 700 to like $2-3 million, just shipping thousands of packages a day by myself, me and my brother.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'd wake up in the
man.
morning and have 30,000 in my PayPal account every day.
How old were you at this time?
I was 20, 21.
Oh
22.
my god, dude.
Yeah,
that
so
is fucking crazy,
I didn't know what to do,
man.
Yeah, and my brother, he went to business school, whatever, and I only have one brother, and I was like, all right, cool, you come and help me, like, just part-time. And then he ended up quitting his, like, corporate jobs or whatever.
Yeah, I would have too.
Yeah, and then he was just helping me because I didn't know what to do with the finance stuff. I was just getting a bunch of money, didn't know what to do, right? And then I was like, shit. It just felt casual to me. I was like, oh, shit, I had 500, now I have 10, now I have 20, I have 50,000, 100,000. And I was like, damn, what do I do,
It's crazy because you inspired me to do eBay because we would hear a rumor about you and be like, Joey made it, right? And we're like, what? Yeah, I heard he made like $100,000 last year. And we're like, what? And then I hear, no, Joey made $1 million last year. And they're like, what? They're like, no, Joey made only 700,000. And then like people were saying like our mutual friends, and then like I hear again, Joey's a millionaire. Joey made 2 million. Joey this. I'm like, who's? I don't know. I haven't seen Joey in a while, but I'm like thinking, well, I know Joey and we did drugs.
He ain't doing shit.
I'm like,
yeah. He's probably rolling in the room right now with the PS2 controller lit up.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
but it was also something like I was always interested in eBay, man.
Yeah.
But to just know that someone I knew fucking made it on eBay gave me the courage to just fucking try it, dude.
Yeah, and you did it.
Not at your level, bro, but that was my first step into business too.
Yeah.
Similar story, but yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Well, how did you get into the gaming thing then? Like what you have now? Because you said
it'll transition into like manufacturing. So basically, we started selling a lot, and then buying. We sent money to this guy on Alibaba. And then he ended up sending us metal dance pads. And I took a step back from e-commerce. I trained all my friends to sell on eBay. And then they all became somewhat successful on eBay too and ran their own stores. Then we started wholesaling to retailers like Fry's Electronics.
What the
etc.
fuck?
And then, so we supplied like all those retailers with these metal dance pads and stuff. Have you ever went to Fry's and they had an arcade machine?
Yeah.
Yeah, we sold all those.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That started from eBay, And then eBay at that time also they're like, damn, because I all my accounts were power seller accounts, right? And if you guys know what power seller is, like you maintain a good feedback, etc. And then they actually invited me to like eBay like office to like come and coach and consult, but I like denied doing that because I just wanted to continue my business. And then my brother and I, after the first year, we had our first warehouse in Monrovia that was like 2,000 square feet. We'd always like max it out. We got our first container after sending that guy that money blind. That was like kind of like a Hail Mary, I send him all the money. If I get the stuff, boom, we're going to make it, right? Like we're going to double our profits or triple or quadruple. And then he kept sending stuff. We set up a relationship. And then 2006 at E3 Expo, if you guys know what that is, we had our first trade show. At that time, I imported these game projectors that play PS2 or GameCube, Xbox on the wall. It projects your game console 80 inches on the wall.
Wow.
Yeah, and I told people I was the inventor of that, right?
Fucking job.
Yeah, but at that time I imported everything. At that time iPod was like becoming super hot. Like,
Yeah.
And then like,
But you were the only importer of it, so then someone else wasn't gonna be like, nah, man.
yeah, well, somebody came. So this is when I like really blew up like in my entrepreneurial career. Is the guy that actually invented it, which he helped Nintendo bring Super Mario to the global market. I won't say his name, but he's famous. He's a Taiwanese guy. He passed by my booth with our other partner, who's a government official now in China that we partner with. He walked by, he's like, hey, where'd you get that? I was like, oh, the projector. He's like, yeah, oh, it's my product. I invented it. You want to buy it? He's like, here's my card. This is my product. I made this product.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then he's like, if you come to China, give me a call.
I love how he wasn't offended. That's like Chinese.
He's a crazy, like humble, like Tai Chi Taiwanese dude. Very, very famous guy that in video game industry, everybody knows this guy.
That's amazing. He's
yeah,
like, hey, just to let you know, guy, I stole it too. So,
Yeah.
you know, I can't get mad at you.
Yeah, I stole it from other guy.
Yeah, I stole it from
long
this
story
other
short,
bitch.
I was actually buying from his our China partner, one of his best friends that was selling it. So that's how they're all linked up. Those guys didn't sell; they're like big shots, you know. So, anyways, I never went to China. Ended up booking a flight. Me and my brother. We took one of my brother's friends, an Indian guy, and then another Shanghainese guy with us, and then we claimed that they were our like staff, you know. We were just like fronting, faking to make that kind of thing, you know.
Oh my god, that's so
we
funny.
ended up going to China, visiting all of our vendors.
This is Gurjeep. He is our manager, warehouse manager.
I know. So he speaks perfect English too. He's like, Joey, I don't have an Indian accent, dude.
Yeah, they actually thought one night when we had, so we went to China.
Wait, did they all speak English? Like, how did this go down?
Yeah, everybody speaks English except for our Chinese partner. Those guys don't speak any English at all.
Damn.
Not even one word except for like hello.
So did you have to have a translator there, or did you have to learn Chinese?
So the Taiwanese guy, which was my mentor, he actually spoke fluent English. He actually was a PhD student in Notre Dame. So.
Oh god dang!
Amazing.
Yeah, so we ended up going to China, visiting all our vendors, and we made our last stop to in Shenzhen area, which they had their factory there right next to Foxconn. And it was an area called Longhua. So anyways, we go there, we meet him. He's like, whoa, you actually made it. We go, in China, if people know, David, I don't know if you've been to China and been to these kind of dinners or Joe, but you go to China, they take you to round table, order like 20, 30 dishes, waste all that food, which is sad, and they make you drink a bunch of like baijiu, rice wine.
I never did business in China like that.
Yeah,
no.
but this is like every day, and I live this life. Like we'll get into that in a little bit, but we drank and we went to sing karaoke and do all the China things they do out there in China, and then spent like a week with him, and he was like, hey, I think we could partner up and do something. I was like, wow, really? Okay. And then next thing I know, we had joint ventures, opened up 2 factories together.
What the
fuck? And then 2008, I launched my first video game console. We got the original chipsets that was used in like NES, SNES consoles, and we launched our first game console 2008 called the Retro Duo, which is my invention. And then
I know that.
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. And
it's
then
like all the games in
you
one.
can find
Yeah.
out. I mean, people go on Wikipedia like, oh, and then yeah. Anyways, but that was our first game console, and then we just started expanding. I came up with my own video game brands, and then we just started, I guess, like private labeling. And then 2009, they're like, hey, we really need you out here in China. Like I was living, I was flying back between LA and China, and then I was like, it wasn't efficient. So 2009,
So why would they need you there? Because you're supposed to be in charge of the American side, right?
Yeah. So we had our warehouse. We've gone through like 5 warehouses in like the past over 15 years. We kept moving, but my brother he's a CEO. And he like was able to manage everything, and I'm more of like the product developer or like vendor relations. And I set up all relationships. I did all the licenses and things like that. And we work with crazy licenses now, which I can get into at the very end. But so 2009, they're like, my brother was like, shit, should I move out there? Like, damn, this is a big move. I'm moving my whole life.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And then I ended up going out there, lived in a hotel in Kowloon side for 3 weeks. Didn't know what I was doing yet. Had no office, no staff, nothing. And we ended up like, it was my job to open up the trading offices, the China office. And then within like 2 years, we ended up having like 400 something people. I opened up my Hong Kong office. I had my trading offices in China border. And I was like drinking like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every day. Lunchtime, baijiu, like full bottle, go to China, drink again. And then I had, if people know Hong Kong, like LKF in Long Kwai Fong, there's like, it's kind of like mini Vegas. So I'd party in China, not party, well, do my business in China, come back for dinner, drink again, and I'd party at night with like friends and being in that scene. It was kind of like the raving scene, but in the club atmosphere. And you'd see the regular people. You'd drink till 6 or 7 in the morning, and then I'd go straight to China again. And I didn't like to stay in China because of the vibe. So people are like, "Oh, you always commute," because it takes 2 hours to get me to the factory and 2 hours back. So I'd commute 4 hours a day, and I did this for 5-6 years when I was in China. So
That's fucking crazy, dude.
yeah.
So you like living in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
and then but you had to work in China.
Yeah. So I would live in China, which is like on the island side, and I'd take a car and go straight to China. It was like my normal routine, 4-hour commute every day.
Why? And the smartphones weren't around back then. You must have been bored as shit, bro. What did you do?
No, we had smartphones, but I actually had a desk in my van that I like built so I could work, and that's how I learned to be very efficient and like just managing my time, because like 4 hours commute is such a waste of time.
It is.
I actually had a desk that I put a laptop there and I'd work
Man,
there.
I'd fucking be listening to podcasts, or I've been looking out and like seeing the trees and thinking, how do they get so green and shit?
Damn, dude, I've never felt like such a piece of shit in my whole life, dude. I'm like the most laziest human being ever, man. Like if I find a time to take a rest, I take that opportunity to the max. I'm gonna fucking rest, guys.
I know my mind kept working, and
Mine works, but my body doesn't.
now as we get older, man, I try to stay past 1 a.m. I'm like sleeping with my kids, but
Oh my god, dude. Dude,
Yeah.
You're like breaking stereotypes of the lazy Cambodian, dude.
yeah, no donut shop over here.
Dude, man. Because
Well,
that's
it's because he's part Chinese. That's why.
Yeah, we're chu chow people.
okay, that makes sense then.
So what else? Yeah, so
So yeah, you were working in China, going back and forth, commuting for 5 years.
yeah, and then at that time also I was other things that I was doing. 2000. I mean, I grew up ever since I grew up in San Marino, and we grew up with a core group of friends, and some friends that I was still in touch with, like into college or after high school. They're like, "Oh, hey, you're traveling all the time. You got to start like a blog," And at that time, I think Eli from Food Beast had started a food blog at that time, and I started a blog called "What's in My Lunchbox? I'm Hungry." And then it was a Tumblr blog, and it was
Wow,
like,
that's old school food blogging, dude.
yeah, 2009. At that time, you post your finger and you get 30,000 likes.
Yeah.
That was like, an influencer wasn't even a term back then,
Yeah.
So there was literally like 20 foodies on Instagram at max. And then, I carried that along and I didn't think anything of it. And today, now it's a whole different story. And that's how I got into the food side of things too. But, so, I continued that blog. I had that Tumblr blog. And then there was a couple sites, I forgot the names, but they were paying me for my food photos. And then they had deliverables for me. I was like, you got to come up with like 300 to 500 photos, but we'll still pay you this. I was like, damn, it was a hobby. I enjoyed it, but it started becoming like a crazy job. So I was like, all right, screw it. But I continued my blog and then opened up the Instagram. And then I ended up like, that became its own organic business, people paying for sponsored posts. And then I created this like, what I have today, which is in addition to when I was doing the video and stuff, I had this Top Food News Instagram account thing, opened up like hundreds of accounts running that. And then that was like a hobby, just to like promote like food.
His work is hobby. Like that's a business. That's a whole ass business.
It is a business. But
I mean,
a business.
if like when you're passionate about being an entrepreneur though, like that is your hobby too.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the stuff that we talk about that where I feel like a lot of people want to be in your shoes, but they don't know how to think like that. You know what I mean? Because you're somebody who's very like, you do something and then you could also see the opportunity in what you're doing and take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people go through and they think that they have these entrepreneurial ideas, right? But it's not. You know what I mean? And then they always fall flat on their face. But they also don't realize like the type of mentality that it takes to look at something and say, oh, there's opportunity in this and I could take it somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because your mind is always working.
It is, as much as I want to shut it off, and I think to the point that you're making, like it's okay to fail, Yeah. And I've failed so many times that people don't even know where I failed because it looks like I'm always successful.
Yeah.
But I could probably write a book about failures, but all those failures and mistakes brought me to where I am today, which I'm probably still failing in a lot of things, but you got to try it, right?
And you took a lot of like leaps of faith,
Crazy.
which is fucking frightening to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like somebody comes up and is like, hey, come to China. You're like, all right, let me get my Indian friend. Let me get my other friend.
Yeah. I don't even know where I'm headed,
Yeah.
Yeah. And the crazy part is, drinking all the time and being in China, there's all that fake alcohol and everything.
Yeah.
And situations. And Joe knows, and we've talked about it on the podcast, but I had health issues too that,
The dark side of entrepreneurship.
the dark side of
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. You gotta. It's funny because in China, people think it's like, oh, China has so much money, and you go there, you're gonna make a bunch of money. It's just like when people are in Asia, they come to America, they're like, oh, I come to America, I'm gonna make so much money so fast. But you gotta make crazy sacrifices, and I'm talking about not time, but your health sacrifice to make it in China, anywhere. But
Why is it like disrespectful? Or you just can't hang if you go like, I can't drink, bro. They'll be like, nah, you're
So,
drinking, motherfucker.
That's anything in
the
Japan
first
or Korea.
impression,
Yeah.
the first time you ever drink with anybody, and this is a tip to everyone, you want to make it either seem one, you have an allergy to alcohol, or two, you just show like crazy sickness if you touch any alcohol. Because
That's what I actually have, though. I have that.
Yeah, they'll understand. Like if the first time you meet somebody and they're a China businessman, if you end up even taking a shot and you seem okay, that already set the tone for the rest of your life with that business relationship.
You know what I would do? So like whenever I had to talk to people where this would happen, because Korean people drink all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I take the fucking shot and I chase it, right? But I'm not chasing. I'm actually spitting the
Spitting
drink
it
back in. Dog, I did that so fucking much.
How did you do that?
It's people do that all the time in China.
I'll just puke in front of them on my fucking fried rice plate.
Yeah.
They don't care if you puke. They'll make you drink again.
Yeah, they don't give a
God damn.
fuck, man.
They don't give a
I kept
fuck.
on doing the fake chaser thing because I could take like 6 or 7 drinks.
Yeah.
But once it gets to 8, 9, 10, 11, I'm fucked. You
Yeah.
know, and then I'm still trying to talk to these people. So
That's
I'm like,
the most important. You have to be able to be coherent and
Yeah.
speak fluently and just efficient.
Or else they go, this guy can't hang because he's a bitch.
Exactly. And so we don't want to do business with him because what if he was with another partner we have? And that's like, I guess I moved up in ranking. So I ended up in my last couple of years, we were always with government officials in the room.
Wow.
And you have like name tags. Like people don't see this on TV, but dude, it's so crazy.
You were a part of the secret Chinese government fucking dealings, man. That's some crazy shit,
But
dude.
yeah, you'll be with the local people, name tags, and then like the way this is a strategy. And I think if anybody out there is gonna drink with government officials, you don't make them drink their local alcohol, which is that rice wine, which is water to them. You make them drink like whiskey, VSOP. So we'd have big whiskey bottles
Because they're not used to it.
Exactly, and then we'd give them we'd all have to take a full shot of wine glass filled with whiskey in one shot.
you motherfuckers are crazy, dude. I can't do
And
that
you
shit.
do that 2 or 3, and they'd be out, and then you're good for the rest of the night. And that was always the strategy.
That's smart, man.
Yeah,
That's fucking smart.
You
'Cause
guys, your team would plan this?
we would always plan it, and we'd make sure like our drivers and our bodyguards or whatever would buy the whiskey bottles ahead of time for dinner instead of bringing the rice wine, because a lot of times those guys will come bring like cases of rice wine and you drink all night, but we just bring 2-3 bottles and we're done. Yeah, but all that, like I had gone through all that drinking and everything, and I paid the price, and then one day, I think this is kind of like when my mentality changed. I mean, my mentality is always constantly changing for the better, but I had a health issue, and Joe and I talked about this before too. Is I had like a minor heart issue, and that was because of all my partying and drinking. And then one day, so basically, long story short about my heart issue, I went out drinking one day, and then like it was like just constant. I never took a break, And then one day, I think it just finally caught up to me. I was walking the border in China, and then I was like sweating and getting cold sweat, and I crossed the border, and when I went to the office, everyone was like, "Oh, your face is like pale. Are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I feel fine." And then next thing I knew, like I couldn't breathe, and then I was like feeling like my whole like body was numb. And then I was like, damn, I was tripping out, and I wasn't like, I didn't take drugs when I was over there, but I would just drink all the time, but it was just like lack of sleep, etc. Just all caught up,
Yeah.
No exercise. My exercise
Bad
was
food.
Yeah, bad food. And then like my exercise was like dancing at the club,
Should have
But
danced more, bro.
so my signature in Hong Kong nightlife was my towel in my pocket, because people know I sweat so much.
Oh, that's tight.
That I'd always have a towel on me or two to wipe all my sweat. And by the end of the night, my whole pants would be wet because my towel that I put in my pocket would trench my pants.
Oh my
But that was
fuck.
my exercise, But it wasn't like the healthy way, because I'd be drinking.
And you wouldn't be sleeping. So
probably
you're
super
going through
dehydrated, too.
stress.
Yeah, exactly. My hydration was drinking more, which So anyways, it was just a bad.
You survived, man.
I know this is crazy, but that was at that time. That was when so I was cold sweating, and they ended up taking me to the hospital. And that day, I remember I went to 3 different hospitals in 24 hours. And so the reason that happened was because in China, and not to hate on China like medical like world, but that it's just not safe because they don't know what they're doing. Like I went to the hospital and they're like, oh, okay, they put the EKG on me. And
They just make shit up. They're like, maybe we can do the clear like the movies, you know?
They were like, oh, they were like, oh, your heart monitor is like kind of abnormal. So here's a shot. They shot me in the stomach right here. So the shot, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I let them do it, you know?
What the
because I was like, I don't know what to do because I was freaking out. Like I literally felt I was dying, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how it feels, but like you feel like you're slowly like dissolving.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's a good thing I was with my staff and I was like, you know, I was crying, you know?
Of course.
Yeah, I was like, shit, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I didn't call anybody, you know? And then next thing I knew, they're like, hey, everyone's like, and then someone called my mentor, and then like everybody in China, like, hey, Joey's in the hospital, like something happened. And then they're like, okay, you guys got to get him to Hong Kong. And then one of my partners that was in Hong Kong, she came and got me. We went to Hong Kong, went to the first hospital. That hospital, they like gave me a shot too. Those guys didn't know what they were doing either, you know? So I had 2 shots. And then like
they didn't even ask you what you got at the other hospital.
No, they didn't. They had paperwork from China, but they ignored that because that China paperwork is garbage.
Oh my God, dude.
You know, so it's just like going to underground like hospitals. So anyways, I was there, and then like they had like the heart monitor on me or whatever, and then I ended up going to like the most I guess well-known hospital called Sanatorium in Hong Kong, and they ended up like doing diagnosis. They had like Harvard like doctors and stuff look at me, and they're like I had like a little clog, you know, but it was like it was borderline where I didn't need to get a splint. Yeah. But this is I'm not even 30.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
And this happened, you know.
You're way too young for that shit.
Exactly. And then like, you know, that's why it's like you want to push yourself, but don't go too far, and always consider your health. You know?
Well, how do you balance it then? Because like you're a serial entrepreneur, so when somebody tells you to stop, I mean, you really don't know what your limits are.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be a hypocrite telling people to like be healthy, but for me, I usually have like 10 minutes out of the day, which is enough for me. And for a long time, because when I lived in Asia, I flew every 2 weeks and between LA and Hong Kong, which is like 15-hour flights, right? And I would fly like every week everywhere. But when my creative ideas and my meditation was in moving vehicles or moving transportation.
Too. Oh shit, that's so crazy. Yeah. And when I don't travel and work on planes, I don't feel
So my all my video game ideas, my product ideas, etc. wouldn't come until I either was on an island, and my brother's like, why the fuck you gotta go to an island to think of something every time, you know? I'm like, well, I guess it's the atmosphere. And I started researching how to like, everyone has a different way to meditate, you know? Yeah. And I figured out a way. One day I met somebody who was like into yoga, where he was like, yeah, you got to learn to like block your thoughts and clear your mind. You know, and people who do yoga or meditate, they're like, yeah, you got to clear your mind.
Empty your
feel
mind.
Relaxed. Yeah, empty your mind or whatever they do. And then they're like, if a thought's coming in, you can block it. I was like, what? Sounds like, you know, some Street Fighter shit, whatever. But I just did it on my own. It's like, I don't even know it's meditating. I don't know what it is, but I learned how to do something that I don't know if it's a secret.
So you take 10 minutes to just clear it.
Yeah. So I would, before I got married, like I would travel somewhere for even like 3-4 days, and I learned how to be there with no thoughts, like sit there and I'd sit in like a room like this and then clear everything till I thought of nothing. And then let's say if I want to come up with I've come up with some crazy video game ideas, you know, like where you could plug a Nintendo console into a Super Nintendo console. Like who would think of that, you know?
Yeah.
Like how could you even do that? And like, even for me, I don't know how I thought of that. So in those times when I was able to block out those thoughts and learn how to meditate, that's how I kind of had like my healthy session. And then that's when I would relax and kind of like de-stress. And also food cooking was an outlet, so cooking, that alone time plus the meditation time or whatever you want to call those sessions that I had, those helped. Or when I was in moving vehicles, or especially in the airplane, people aren't yelling and screaming, you know?
Yeah.
So like those are the times when I'd spend those like 10-12 hours in the plane and I'd brainstorm, and those were like my relaxing times, you know? And then health.
You're still working.
I'm still working. But the thing is, like,
but you're not drinking and being destructive, right? You're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and the crazy part is like,
to
you guys, there's like, dude, that's not really relaxing. You're still working. But I think like I'm not comparing myself to like Elon Musk or whatever, but I think, you know, Jeff Bezos, Tony Hsieh, all these guys.
Yeah.
And I've met Tony. Tony's a very humble guy. I mean, everybody knows Tony. He started Zappos.com, bought out by Jeff. But I've met him a few times, and he's a very humble guy, very like introverted, but I know he does stuff like this. And those kind of sessions, whatever you do, and then balancing your health there, that's what gets you to like think of these crazy ideas and businesses, and then make decisions that are risky, but calculated
For sure, dude.
And like it's hard for me now to get to do that because I have 2 kids, but I'll find time, like even if it's 2 minutes, like even in like my car rides today, 2 hours in the car today, but I had some good ideas today. So
That's tight, man.
yeah. So anyways,
No,
got off
dude,
track
yeah.
there, but
No, you're right. Yeah. How to take a break, don't burn out,
yeah.
Suffering health issues, like that's the dark side of entrepreneurship because we don't I don't know if you feel the same, but I feel like I'm not being grateful. I feel guilty. I feel wrong to take a break. That's how I did. So then like I just keep burning myself out because I'm like, I never had this opportunity before. I got to take it. Like I feel like a bitch for whining and resting because it only takes me one day to make this $50,000 thing or whatever, right? And then you got to do it because if I don't, I feel weak. I feel like I feel wrong. Like I feel like entitled.
Yeah. It's like a FOMO thing. You don't do it now,
man.
you're missing out.
I feel like I'm more Cambodian than you, dude. I'm just like, I'm just praying, like, please, somebody just leave a duffel bag of money in front of my door, please. I don't want to work anymore. Like,
Well, you went through this. You went through
enjoy
this last 2 years, David. Like we all faced burnout in a bad way, right? Like and then it was like we went through a depressive state and I think it's a little bit different because the demand for our kind of work is also entertainment and we have to be in front of the camera. We have to pretend that we're happy and whatever. Like, well, not pretend, but you know what I mean? Like it's a job. Like you don't want fucking Jay Leno to go up on stage and be like, today I'm sad. Like you want him to entertain you, right? Like, so
Entertainment's like the
right. So, but you were behind the scenes and it's a different type of what you call it, like demand.
Right.
It's different, right? Because we're balancing art and entrepreneurship. But I could tell like if we were pure entrepreneur, that would also be really hard too.
I mean, you're just a very hands-on person too, because even at Smorgasburg, what are you doing at the cash register, dude? Like, what is that about? Why don't you explain that to me? Right. I'm like, what is Joey doing at the fucking cash register?
It's funny that because you're definitely not the only one that always asks me, like, why the fuck do you fry chicken every Sunday for? I've been at Smorgas for a year and a half frying chicken.
You own multiple companies. Your time is more worthy conceptualizing new ideas and all this stuff. But yeah, you're literally, I see you at the booth and I'm just like, you love to work.
So one thing that people don't know, especially people who see me at Smorgasburg, and I get asked this every weekend. They're like, "Why the fuck are you on the fryer?" Yeah. So the fryer is a secret because now everyone knows it's like my meditation time, and I like to be on the fryer. And that time to work. That time that I'm on the fryer, I'm only focusing on one thing. But what people don't know is that while I'm focusing on making sure the chicken is cooked and there's enough cycle, because there's a whole process to it. Everything, there's a process, and I've developed, I think, an efficient process for the frying the chicken. But during that time, I'm thinking about other things, and it's my time that no one can bother me except for someone saying, "Hey, you need more chicken." That's it. And right now, like especially those out there married, you guys aren't married yet, but having kids are beautiful, but it's like I can't be in a house. And
fucking annoying is what
you
kids
annoying me. So it's my time.
I have no kids. You have 2, and I'm already fucking breaking down and crumbling.
Dude, I'm so fucking lazy, man. Like on this podcast, I should be doing promo for it. When an episode releases, I'm just like, they know it's out. And I'm like, I just move on. I'm like, they know.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, as far as where I like to be there sometimes. I don't micromanage. That's one thing that I've learned over the years. You don't do that. Trust your staff. Trust your employees.
Did you used to micromanage?
Probably like.
But that's a lesson you have to. That's a hard lesson you have to learn though, because I did the same shit.
I teach that to some business partners or
you gotta let
peers.
go. It's gonna stress you the fuck out for the stupidest thing.
You have to.
This is not fucking crooked. It's like just shut the fuck up. Leave. Let somebody do it.
You gotta trust and delegate, and then let people make their mistakes.
And you tell people this because they're too fixated on the little minutia, right?
Always, yeah. Because you can't scale and grow if you don't trust people. Yeah, So
unless they want to run the shop themselves and they care about just the shop.
Yeah, and we have a good team right now. We have people come. They're like, damn, how do you support all these people? We got 5 or 6 people, like just like other booths, but we're just one fried chicken booth. We have 5 people there now, and I'm still there just to make sure everyone's all good. But now I think I've come to the point where I'm actually not there every weekend, which is amazing for people to see that.
Yeah.
But I'll be there, at least a couple hours just to see things going and trying to work on things. So hopefully answering questions, David.
You're just always inspiring me, man. Like it's pretty cool.
Self-esteem just dropped so low for an hour and 15 minutes. I just feel like a piece of shit.
Well, wait. Going back, I want to make sure people hear about this part though, like the heart issue, right?
Yeah.
So when I was at the hospital, it might sound crazy, and this is what changed my outlook on life. Not that I had a bad outlook, but I had this crazy vision. Now it's even crazier. And I think I'm alive now for some certain reason. I'm not religious, but I believe in some higher being. Okay. But I was there in the bed at sanatorium. I stayed there over a week because I love the food, by the way.
Okay.
Dude.
You're just like, nah, I'm still sick. I think I need to stay here.
Yeah, dude.
The food is amazing.
They had wonton noodles, chatsiu. It was freaking bomb. But anyways, people who know the hospital, they know the food's good.
They fucking gave you that shit when you had a heart attack? That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
you could order anything. It's crazy.
Have some fucking fat pork here.
Yeah, because that'll help your clogged arteries.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, people actually go there just to eat.
That's
that
tight.
hospital.
You
anyway,
mean like the
hospital?
cafeteria?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because the food's decent there. Anyways, so like I was. This is like, they were monitoring me. It's been like 2-3 days, and then I was asleep or not asleep. I don't know, but I saw like 6 lights, right? And
Like fucking just lights just around you.
yeah. I was asleep, and then I was getting close, and it was like, I saw a big light, 6 lights, and then that happened for a moment. I woke up, no one was around me.
Yeah.
And then I started to think, maybe the 6 lights were like angels or people that helped me. And then there was a light, like I felt like I either could go there and that was it, or I stay here and do my job. And my job not meaning my business, but maybe I have a bigger purpose.
Yeah.
Which I might sound crazy and maybe drug talk right now. But then I realized like shit. I think, and I don't like to use the word pay it forward, and it's not about that, but over 10 years, 15 years, I mean, do I deserve where I'm at now or where I want to be, or what people think that I've achieved? Like, do I deserve all this? Am I lucky, or what it is? I'm very thankful and grateful. And I think so many people, especially my mentor, like having good friends that still care about, especially when I had my heart issue, when, and even talking about that, like when I had my heart issue, the people that like messaged me, those are the people that are there for you till the end. Mm-hmm. How many people didn't care to even send a message? They're just there just to use you. And I realized that it had to get to that point.
Wow.
And I would have to say, like, let's say there's 10,000 people in my life, 500 people out of 10,000 really cared.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, oh, or just ignore. I don't want to help you until you're better, because they don't want to deal with stress. So anyways, I learned a lot from that time. Then I realized like, shit, maybe that was a sign, like, I was about to die.
Yeah.
I literally was. And then like I have a greater purpose. And before that, my brother and I went on a mission in Cambodia, because when it rains, 1 year of rice crop is gone, and they don't have rice for a whole year. So we ended up filling a whole container with the mama noodles and rice bags.
Yeah.
And it was like a swamp. We swam like one mile in swamp water to deliver where my parents have, like, they grew up, or my mom did, and then it was like 100 families. Wow. And that day, when we went on that mission, 100 families, after we done it, they bowed down to me and my brother. And I was like, I didn't know, that feeling is like priceless, and not saying like, oh, I'm a god or I have power.
But that respect, right?
The
like
respect,
that thank you. And,
it's not even like the tears part. It's like, damn, I don't know how to explain. Is there an adjective to describe that moment? And I was like, I want to always be in this type of moment where I can help a family and I know that they're going to have food. So all those little things, and that moment, plus my heart issues and my health issues, I was like, okay, I've been saved more than once in my life. This is like my second, this heart issue that I explained to you guys was my second encounter with life, death. And then I had a third one later on, still had involved drinking. Yeah. But 3 chances. I mean, how many more chances in my life do I get to stay alive.
I feel like you have multiple because those
I'm
raving
like-
days, bro. Like we should have fucking died back then.
Okay, yeah. Damn, maybe I'm a cat.
Right? Fuck, man. We did some crazy shit back then.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like
too.
a laced weed and shit, you still survived.
I know. But the times when I actually felt like I was literally dying,
Yeah.
those 2-3 times, and then going through a mission like that, I think there was a purpose for me. And all the stuff that I'm doing, like the business that you guys see or know, and the people out there that know what I have, like the video game businesses, my food businesses, my marketing, blah, blah, blah. I do all these, it's okay, yeah, they can make money, but where is that leading to? And I think that's what everybody wants to know. And some people do know. I want to do things like in Cambodia and other worlds and other countries, and it's leading up to that. And I'm 36 right now, it's gonna be 37, but when I hit 40, I want to make it known that I'm gonna go out there and really try to make an impact. I want people to remember me that I was able to change like an industry, society, or something like that. It might sound cliche, but that's really what I really want to do. And I think now is the like my chance to really like the next 2-3 years get everything together, exit where I could eventually, and then go to the next level. I see life as a video game to me.
Yeah, it
you
is.
know?
I think you could do it, man. I think you have what it takes.
Yeah, but it's and then this is another thing. I think like all my relationships, and I think this is everything happens for a reason, right? All the relationships that I've built, the network that I've built, all my friends and family are going to help me get there because I couldn't do it alone.
No one can.
Yeah, let's say if I'm going to go on a mission in Cambodia, I can't do it myself.
Yeah, none of us can.
And I want to be able to bring people along with me to do that.
I'll go to Cambodia with you.
Awesome. Yeah. And to get there, you need money and you need to be stable. And then like people always tell me like you got to help yourself before I help other people. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I'm still working on helping like myself, my family, etc. But that's like where I'm trying to.
You provide so much opportunity and so much work for people. It's insane. Like I think, like I got a staff about 30, and maybe in the food side, maybe we got about 100. But then like you got thousands of people that you created jobs for. And so, I don't know if you owe any explanation to anybody because you already did so much greatness, right?
That's the crazy part, though.
Yeah,
because it's crazy for me to say it, but I feel like I haven't done enough. And then like I feel like people always like, dude, number one question, people like they see the business like especially Inex, like, oh, dude, when are you gonna retire? And then I was like, honestly, and I always say this probably like I probably reached like 5% of the potential that where I want to be.
You're crazy, man.
Exactly.
Once I have 30 million, I'm done forever. I will disappear and nobody will ever see me again, dude.
Yeah, right. You're gonna get into so many different hobbies, and you're gonna use that money for other things.
I'm gonna be juggling.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's just we're not at his level yet. So once we get to that level, I think our minds are gonna snap into something else.
Oh God, man! Like I just want to disappear. You know what? I'll go to Cambodia with you. How about that?
Yeah, let's all go to Cambodia. Cambodia trip.
I'll go to Cambodia. I'll do all that shit, dude.
See, if I didn't have to think about money, I think I'd be like on your level. What I mean by it is that so when you don't have the burden of thinking about what am I going to do in the next 10 years? Can I buy a house? Can I do this? If you don't have that thought, you can start thinking about everybody. You could start thinking about everyone in the way where it's like, hey man, there's this whole group of people that need some help. How can I bring what I got into this energy? Mm-hmm. But most people are just trying to figure out for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to win the lotto though.
I would love
those are
to.
different stages. I mean, I think those are just different levels and stages of your life where everyone figures that out eventually.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you think of the next stage. And I'm always stuck at every level though.
What's your work day like then in terms of work? Like what happens? Like I feel like you wake up and all of a sudden there's 17 computers around your face, and then you're just like typing all them out.
Oh man. Okay. So So, one year I calculate like I spent more time in the computer than in the outside world.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I was traveling, I was spending 30 full days in the airplane
Annually? So you spent
one month out of an entire year
just hours wise
in the airplane.
Fuck, man.
So 30 literally around 28 to 30 days I calculated for those times I was in China back and forth, spending 30 like wherever I was flying. Yeah, it was like 28 30 days in the airplane. But because of like my commute from China to Hong Kong, my LA and Hong Kong travels, multiple businesses, and how I structure. So I have a pretty good formula, and that's why I think people ask me to consult for the business. Is like I have a good formula where you got to be strict on your schedule. So it's like you wake up the night before. I always have an Evernote, or I don't know if you guys use Evernote, but I have Evernote or a note, and I know what I'm going to do from 8 a.m. Well, now I have to wake up at 7 because my daughter's waking me up at 7 a.m. But 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. until like 7 p.m. And I know like 6 p.m. I got to be with my kids. So I have to now factor my family time. But every hour, and even I'm always a week ahead, but every hour, every 2 hours, I know what I'm doing. You guys have schedules. Everyone has a schedule, but I already know what I want to accomplish the next day. And you're always going to have a to-do list, you know?
You're fucking crazy, man.
So
I'm a fucking wind. I'm a leaf in the wind, dude. I wake up, I'm like, take me wind somewhere. You're fucking crazy.
Yeah. So let's say you want to accomplish 10 things tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure there's always something on your list that you always want to do, but
you never get sad and go, I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah, no, I don't think I don't want to do it, but I'm like, shit, dude, what did I get myself into? Then I start to realize like, shit, I do want to do this, but I burn out. You know, I burn out.
You ever fight with your freaking wife and go, fuck, I'm not working today?
Yeah, all that shit. I mean, she always, Fiona's probably going to listen to this, but
yeah. I mean, we all fight with our girlfriends, babe. We talk about this shit all the time, but yeah, like
stupid.
Fiona's
bitches,
working.
right?
Fiona's working now. She's doing CPA work, but she says I work too much, but she supports me at the same time. My kids even know.
Yeah.
Does she just work work for fun?
She
goes, I need to feel important, all right? So I'm gonna work, all right?
No, but so like you're pretty fucking disciplined is what I'm trying to say. Is like if I get thrown off track all the time.
Me too.
And it's hard for me to do shit when I'm angry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so angry, I got work to do, but I could do it tomorrow, baby.
Yeah, I mean, but if I set a goal that I want to, there's like you always have that task or tasks that you always wanted to finish, and you say I gotta get that tomorrow, but you don't get to it. For me, it's like I have 10 things, but what I learned is like you just gotta like knock off like the highest priority or the highest priority one in the next day, and then you should be good. Because a lot of times people have a list of 20 things to do, and then they go to the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest things to do, like take out the trash. Did it. Okay, I'm gonna go rest. You know,
you talking about me right now, dude? Because you talking about me right now, man.
I look at that list and then I look at my girlfriend. I go, "You want to watch Netflix?"
Because that's actually some really good advice. Because I think sometimes when people set goals, they kind of go too broad and too big, and they don't think about the day-to-day stuff, right?
Right.
They go, within the year, I'm going to do this. So what does that mean? You know?
Well, it's good to set goals.
Yeah.
It's good to set goals, but it's like you have your vision. I know where I want to be in 5 years. I mean, anyone can talk about that, but I really am. Every day, people they don't see it, but like every day in my life, every minute counts. So it's like Joe asked me to come, and I felt bad last time I was supposed to come see you guys.
Don't feel bad, because I don't feel bad.
I feel bad.
Okay.
I feel bad because if I make a commitment, I want to come.
No, it's cool.
You know, it was just so crazy things happen. And I got to put out fires, but like I'm not saying like people waste my time, but I want to be here because I want to hang out and chat. You know, and I've known Joe for so long. It's not even doing a favor or something, but I want to be somewhere because any action I take, I feel is another step towards a goal. And where does this discussion bring us? Could bring us nowhere, but I feel it brings me and Joe a relationship. And David, you and I, we don't really talk, but us talking together, it's maybe a contribution to something in the future.
I want to take a picture of your naked body and put it on the wall. That's what I want to do.
Add me to the drawing up there, okay?
I'm gonna put Sharpie marker. And I'm gonna draw you right here.
Shave one of their heads off.
Gotta have them in a fucking pose too.
Put sun in one of their hair.
It's cool because like I feel like the stuff that you kind of learned along the way wasn't taught in school, right? It was something that you learned and you picked up, and you went through a lot of trials and tribulations to get to where you're at.
Yeah.
And so I'm listening to stuff, I'm picking up stuff. I was like, God damn, dude.
I mean, he's right, dude. I mean, he has the right mindset. He has the discipline. He has all the things that every entrepreneur aspires to be. But what happens is like, I think life gets in the way and we go on and off, right? Because like I work in waves. Like I'll be a high performer.
Yeah, me too.
High fucking performer. Give me 3-4 months. I'll just hit that shit hard. And something happens. I become sad, and I'm like, I'm sad. I want to go on vacation. I don't give a fuck, right? Or just something happens, and then It's I think the key to it is really controlling your emotions and your motivations, or like just sticking with shit.
It's that big picture thing too.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what you want at the end. And if you don't do these things, that big picture won't be complete. You're not going to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's like your push and that's your motivation. You know what I mean? Because my big picture right now is to find that bag of cash somewhere.
Yeah.
And you don't really work
It
towards
might be in Cambodia at a donut shop.
I know.
Korean guy opens donut shop in Cambodia.
I'm going to dig something up in Angkor Wat. This fucking case of just like gold.
I'm going to create an army full of monkeys.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Well,
Yeah.
dude, that was probably, man, that's like the most informative podcast ever.
It was awesome, dude. Yeah, I told you Joe was going to be a great guest, man.
You motherfuckers better have listened
How
to this.
long do you run this for?
45 minutes to an hour. So
Yeah,
we
but
did-
this is great stuff because every time we talk about entrepreneurial shit, it's like on the low level shit. So now this is like some real entrepreneurial shit, dude.
this is what we aspire to be. We're like still,
We're infants.
yeah, we're
No.
still getting things started.
Everyone's at their own stage. It's all good.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a long way to go, man.
Man,
Yeah, all of us
I'm just
do.
trying to go to where you're at and stop. So like I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
Well, guys, that ends this episode of the Genius Brain podcast. You guys can see us on Spotify, iTunes podcast, any type of audio platform. We're there. On the YouTube, comments below, write comments, interact with each other, have conversations. Joey, plug everything that you can so they know what's up.
Okay, what do we got? You
Your
could
Instagram
You
or
could follow me on Instagram, Joey Ngoy. You could follow my Food Network, Top Food News, Fried Chicken Concept, Eat Bolo, my
Fucking
retro
bomb, by the way.
brand, Retrobit Gaming, my plush brand that I work with Sony. It's called the Stubbins. We run all their plush toys.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, and we just have a 5-year license with Sega to reproduce all the retro
Oh my God.
consoles and accessories officially for Sega. It's people can see it right now on Amazon. So we actually making the original official Sega
I love Sega.
accessories and
That's amazing.
other projects coming out.
Oh, dude,
It's
you
gonna
guys
be-
don't even know, man.
It's gonna be wild. What else? Yeah, that's it.
That's
Find
freaking
me at
amazing.
Smorgasburg every Sunday.
Just frying chicken like a simpleton.
Don't bother me while I'm on the fryer. Oh, I'm gonna throw
Don't interrupt, buddy.
hot soybean oil at you.
Yeah, man. Well, that is the podcast. We'll see you guys next time, man.
Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Peace.